It is my esteemed pleasure to introduce Mr. Donald Trump. It's the Donald! Oh my God!
Donald Trump is one of the most controversial people in recent history. And love him or hate him, he knows how to scale a business.
The true test of someone's character is how they behave under fire. And we had one president who couldn't climb a flight of stairs, and another who was fist pumping after getting shot. Fight, fight, fight! Blood coming down the face.
And what's even more wild is this, the guy is 78 years old. He's running for his second term as a president of the United States. Now, the reality of me, I have never seen anything more inspiring and patriotic from a politician than that. They literally get shot in the face at 78 years old. They stand up and they fist pump, let's fight. And this is from someone now who's actually had a second assassination attempt recently. And this shows what a beast Donald Trump is. And there's some big lessons that you can learn from him in this video in terms of how to be successful in business, to have a legacy, create wealth, and become truly undeniable. I've spent years working with some of the best mentors, business people, and coaching tons and tons of people to be successful in terms of building their businesses. I can tell you this one thing, success leaves clues, and this is the truest thing that's actually changed my life, is I've found people who are phenomenally successful, like Donald Trump, modeled character traits from them, taken those, and implemented them into my business. And we're gonna break down exactly what those things are from Donald right now. Number one is thinking big. Now, the reality of Donald Trump is the big thing is that he's bigger than life. He sets big goals, he goes all in, and this is one of the biggest mistakes I see so many people doing, is they have small aspirations. And respectfully, that's actually a British mindset problem. A lot of people in the UK and Europe have small ambitions and small goals. One of the reasons I love Americans is they're so out there in terms of having huge aspirations of what they want to achieve, and they're not afraid to talk about it. Now, when it comes to business, the bigger the vision, the bigger the potential reward. And what you'll actually find is it's easier to actually run a big business than run a small one. Why? Because when you start to build a bigger business, you get more leverage, you have a team, and you remove the golden handcuffs, you have the ability to scale. Trump understood that having a bigger vision is the key. And so many people in the UK and Europe have small visions and small goals. Now, what you want to do is you want to have huge aspirations. Why? Because when you have huge aspirations, you build a bigger business. The people who come work for you can then actually realize the dreams of what they want working for you, and their vision and their dreams can fit inside yours. Now, when you come to setting big visions and having big goals, you have to take risks. But the most important thing is taking calculated risks. And this is called strategy. And it's essentially decision making. Whether you should go left, whether you should right, whether you should buy this building, whether you should run as United States president, whether you should open another golf course. What is the strategy you should be implementing and making the right decisions, but not just being risky, but taking calculated risks. Now, when you scale, risk is inevitable because you're gonna have to take on more employees, you're gonna have to spend more money, you're gonna have more overheads, and you're gonna have to try new things to get to a different level. Now, a big mistake I see so many people making is they get to a certain set point in their business. Maybe they're making 10,000 a month, maybe they're making 20,000 a month, maybe 100,000 a month, and they don't try and go to the next level up because they're not willing to take the risk and they're not willing to try something different. And the definition of insanity from Albert Einstein is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting to get a different result. Personally, one of the things I've taken for Donald Trump is that whenever you get to a point where you're stuck, and this is something I took from this book, is you take massive action and you try lots of different things, you implement it fast to see which ones are working, and then you go all in on the route, which is moving forwards like a steam train. And the reason most people don't see explosive growth in their business is because they get stuck with that glass ceiling above the head. They don't change anything. So if you're at that point now, you have to take a risk, try something else, hire a mentor, get some advice, and get someone from outside of your field of vision, who's outside of your own head, to get you to the next level. Because one of the biggest challenges I've found in growing my businesses is that when I get to a certain point where I get stuck, there's almost too many options in terms of what to do, and you overanalyze everything. Where it's very easy sometimes from someone from the outside as an observer who's got a lot of experience to give you clear direction, clear clarity, and what you should do next to get to the next level. And the key with that is finding someone who's done the thing you want to do. Now, when I first started my businesses, and I was an estate agent 5 years ago when I left my full-time job, I had a clouded vision of what I wanted to achieve. I wanted a big fitness business, I wanted time freedom, I wanted location freedom, I wanted financial freedom. I had a vision of wanting to go big. I didn't know exactly how I was going to do it to the granular detail, but the way I'd explain this is you take one step and then the next stepping stone appears, and you move forwards on that basis, and you keep consistent and use the 3 R's, which are being relentless, resilient, and being resourceful. Now, the last thing I want to leave you when you think about setting big visions and having big goals is The world rewards action, not intention. So drawing up a plan and setting a big goal is great, but you've actually got to go through and execute on it. Number two we've talked about is branding and public image. So one thing Donald Trump is notorious for is his name is everywhere. He's in the press all the time. He has his name on golf courses, buildings, labeled everywhere. And this is something I actually taken from someone else I take a lot of inspiration from, is Grant Cardone. He uses the phrase omnipresence, and that's being everywhere at all times. And what you want, no matter what industry you're in, whether it's the fitness industry, whether you're in real estate, is you want to be first in category. You want to be category of one. You want to be the first person someone thinks of when they think of something. Now, Trump and his brand is synonymous with luxury, opulence, and being successful. So the question I ask you is, what does your brand stand for? The clearer you are in terms of your marketing, the way you present yourself and how you present your brand, the more successful you'll be and the more you'll pull in the potential clientele you want. I see a lot of people who are fitness trainers I work with who want high-end clients, yet they dress like they come from a charity shop. Their quality of their videos is very, very poor. The quality of the content that you put out is generally very poor. You will attract what you put out into the world. So he, for example, shows luxury, opulence, success, and that's the type of people he pulls to his brand. And one of the things I would take from him is he's like a Marmite. And that's an English expression for a slightly nice or nasty spread, depending on what your butters your toast. And the reality with this is that if you have the Marmite effect, that people either love you or they hate you, that's good, because people want to be polarized. And he's an incredibly polarizing individual when it comes to political things, in terms of financial investments, and the way he looks upon the world. But that's why he has a core tribe who really follow him very passionately about everything he does. Every market is competitive now. There's loads of people doing fitness coaching, loads of people doing business coaching, loads of people doing real estate, loads of people doing everything. But how do you stand out? You become a category of one, you build the brand, and remember this saying, best known beats best. Number three is leveraging media and opportunity. So how can you get yourself out there more? He's constantly controversial, got himself onto TV shows. These type of things have really made his name and made him a big public figure. And that's one of the reasons he's the only person who's become president of the United States and the only person who's become a political leader of a country that I know of who doesn't come from a political background, because he used all of these outside resources and outside media outlets to push himself out there to get constant attention so he could use this as his vehicle to get to where he wants to be. Now, a lot of entrepreneurs want to veer away from controversy. They don't say what they really want to say. And there's obviously a fine line to talk about here. In my opinion, and I completely stick to it, if you are a personal trainer and you are not in shape, you should not be a personal trainer, or your business will not do very well. And that comes from a place of kindness, that I want personal trainers to be in great shape, so they're happy with the way they are, but also they're more likely to be way more successful in their business. And that's a polarizing point some people don't like. What is it you truly believe in? What is a polarizing thing that you want to talk about, that you truly believe that is important to you, that resonates with your audience? These are all limiting beliefs that you can break in your content, your branding, and your message. And you need to trigger people by being very direct. When I think about my fitness business, one of the best pieces of content I ever made, which went nuts, one of the best pieces of content I made when my fitness business, and this absolutely blew up, I talked about how dad bods and anyone who has them have failed the younger version of themselves. Because when we were children, we didn't look up to people who were sitting on the sofa, eating Dominoes with Doritos and Cheetos dust in our belly button. We looked up to people who looked like superheroes. So you as a little kid, you wanted to look like a superhero, and now you failed yourself. The other thing I would add in with this, he's very good in being in the right place at the right time. One of the most dope things I saw is after he got shot in the ear and he had a bandage on his ear, he turned up at the UFC the next day and he walked out to Many Men Wish Death Upon Me from 50 Cent. I was like, that's fucking baller. Like, dude's 78 years old, just got shot in the face. He's got a bandage on his ear. He's walking out to Many Men by 50 Cent at the UFC. Crowd goes nuts. And that's how you create a legacy and you create impact, because you understand how to manipulate things that happen to you to your own advantage. And in my opinion, if Donald Trump doesn't win the US election, in particular because of the amount of patriotism he's shown, the US election is rigged. Now, you have to understand that the more people who are talking about you, the more opportunities are coming to you. And this is why Donald Trump's ratings in the politicians, and this is why Donald Trump's ratings in terms of winning the presidential election have increased since the shooting. That's actually one of the best things that could have happened to him. And with that, I'd leave you with this. Growth happens when you push yourself outside of your discomfort zone. Now, it doesn't mean you need to get shot in the face, but it does mean you need to force yourself to get out there more. So when you look and try and take away from Big D, Trump, what can you do in your life? You can do fucking everything. Guy's become a billionaire, he's got multiple kids, He's become president of the United States as the first person who's actually never been a politician. He no doubt will win his second term. So my message from you from this video, have big dreams, have big aspirations, and see them through, because you get paid and you get what you want from execute on those things. And if you have a fitness business or you have a business online, you want help in terms of scaling, you want growing from someone who's actually done the thing, award on the award for selling over $10 million over there, then hit the link below this video to find out exactly how we can help you. If you took value from this, smash the like button, comment below any questions whether you think Trump is going to win or not, hit subscribe, and we'll see you next video very, very soon.